I just received the newest update, 2025-0601, which I was excited about, or am excited about, because I have now put on different tires. And I came with the 20-inch all-terrain Pirelli Scorpions. They weren't my favorite tire, and they were pretty loud as they wore. So I ended up buying a set of different all-season tires. So this new selector is quite interesting. By default, if I would think, well, the wheels I have are these 20-inch all-terrain wheels. And then you get into the tire selection. Now I'm in a bit of a quandary because, the default is that tire. Well, obviously I don't have that anymore. But they do show the other OEM tire option that comes with 2025 vehicles, which is a Goodyear Wrangler Territory all-terrain. Now I actually wanted this tire, but I could not get it in Canada. It just was not available in the time frame I needed it. So I ended up buying the Michelin Defender, which is a 275/60/20 116 load rating XL as well. So, I could pick generic all season, but now it doesn't actually specify what diameter of the tire it is, which is really important when it comes to the odometer and the efficiency calculations and things like that. So for the last week that I've had these new tires on, I've just been dividing the efficiency numbers I get and the odometer readings I get by 1.03 because the tire diameter is 3% larger on the stock tires that came with my truck, the 65s versus the 20s. So, I could just pick this tire with the correct wheel, but they're saying the range estimation is not going to be great, or the range estimation is probably going to be a bit pessimistic because that's an all-terrain tire. But if I pick the all seasons, my bet is that it's going to default to the 65 series rubber, but I really don't know. So I think what I'm going to do is instead, pick the, there's the other option I could do is the same diameter as the 22-inch sport wheels plus the 50 series rubber end up being the same 33-inch diameter wheel plus tire combo. So I could just pick one of these two tires and assume that this wheel is kind of similar in aerodynamic efficiency to my 20-inch wheel, because certainly the 21-inch wheel is not going to be. It's got the wheel covers and it's more efficient. The other option I could do is pick the new 20-inch all-season wheel, which default comes with the Goodyear Wrangler Territory tire, but instead pick the all-season aftermarket tire. Actually, on reflection, I think this is what I'm going to go with because it should have the right diameter programmed in there, theoretically, and this wheel is fairly similar to the wheel I have. Let's try that, and we're just going to pay attention to things in the next few days and see. I'm kind of expecting as soon as I do this that it's not going to affect when my trip meter tells me how many kilometers are going to be left, but I'm pretty sure it's going to just change the display on the dash, so I'm going to hit confirm. Oh, this is interesting. You're going to need to do a vehicle reset in order to recalibrate your vehicle. Interesting. Okay, let's go confirm. I'll check back in a minute here. Okay, we're back. Right. Yeah, and as I suspected, it did bump it up. So it went from 209 to 218. One thing of note, though, holy moly, it basically did a software update. It took probably almost 10 minutes. I'll have to look at the timestamp to see what it was. But yeah, I mean, you're only changing your tires twice a year in Canada where I live, so that's not that big a deal. But I'm not really going to experiment with it that often. Oh, I should have showed this before, but yesterday this was sitting at 285 for range at 100% when the efficiency was 2 and the current weight was 5,000. So it bumped up to range 299. Yeah, which I would say is pretty close to that. So, and then if I plug in a trip plan, it's going to just use what it knows for efficiency factors anyways. Like I noticed, even though we had the wrong tire size on, truck was very accurate all day yesterday, over 600 kilometers of towing, at determining, you know, what our arrival charge state should be in kilometers. I do wish it would say it in percent, not just kilometers, because when you're towing, the kilometers screen gets affected if it decides the trailer weighs differently. That number changes drastically, you know, by plus minus 15 or 20 kilometers. Today we're going to head, see, we're currently just coming down into the Snake River Valley into Idaho. So we'll head in past Boise here, and I think we're probably going to go to, it won't show up on here most likely, but oh yeah, near Melba, there's a little place called Celebration Park, which has some archaeological stuff, and then we'll hop on the 78 here and kind of take the back way over to, where's Bruno Dunes? Yeah, here it is, Bruno Dunes State Park. And probably stay there for the night, but if we don't feel like it, then we'll head up to Mountain Home, charge up quick, and carry on. We're on our way to, well, that'll be our first ran. Oh, automatically fit. That'll be our first ran. We've never been to one. Yeah, ultimate goal is, let's see here, where'd it go? Yeah, Zion National Park. Zion National Park, yep. It's either late tomorrow or midday the next day. Just out of interest, I thought I'd show the trip plan to get down to the campground. So that's what I ended up figuring out in text form there. We've added Celebration Park and Bruno Dunes, like I was mentioning. Possible we'll stay there for the night if we just want to have a short day today and we spend a bunch of time exploring. Bunch of Tesla chargers. I've got my pass for that. Oh yeah, it showed the total trip time. Oh, there it is. Total trip time. Yeah, so we'll definitely break that into 2 days, probably even 3, just because we don't really like driving for really long periods of time. Yeah, what I was mentioning about what I find interesting is sometimes it tells you at the bottom. Sometimes it tells you at the bottom of a charger stop how much range you're going to ride. But there, yeah. So I manually picked the EVgo one. It knows it's a charger, but it for some reason won't show me this information. But I wish this was in percent, because it would make my life easier. Or at least percent and range. It's kind of nice to know both, really. So yeah, if you could add percent there, that'd be great.